All right, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. This is going to be episode 50. We're going to be revising the roster we made last night of the low rated players. So, the reason we need this roster is we're going to create a league full of these players. So, we're going to basically import this same roster multiple times and let them all just play against each other in the American League. The whole idea is to create a baseline of lower rated players. So, when we experiment with higher rated players in the National League, that the game doesn't nerf their capabilities because there's no low end players to be better than. And so I'll go into that in a little more detail as we go through this. I apologize for those of you who've been following along. This normalization talk might start to get old, but it helps me too to talk it through because I think I learn more every time I explain it. And also, I think to people who are joining us for the first time, uh, may not understand why this is important. But the short version of it is if you bring a bunch of Babe Ruths into the league to do an experiment, um, if that's all there is, they're all going to hit 20 home runs. They're not going to hit 50 home runs. You need to have some basically lower rated players for them to be better than, for the Babe Ruths to be better than, to hit those 50 home runs. So I think the simple way to think about it is if you want to bring in a bunch of Babe Ruths and have them hit 50 home runs, you also need to bring in a bunch of Mario Mendozas that the Babe Ruths can be better than. Otherwise, the Babe Ruths become the average, and they'll play like average players. That's my understanding, and that's also how it's been playing out in our experiments. But before we do that, I apologize. I try to get this stuff done beforehand because I like for this stream to be more of like a base game experimentation stream. But I did not finish some drafts that I need to do. They close in a half hour, so this is the standings from last night's experiment. You see our team finished 36 and 126. Part of the reason I'm making edits is I think the 36 is a little too high, believe it or not. And some of the players did a little too well. And the better they do, the worse our experimental teams will do. So it's important that we get them bad enough. We also don't want them too bad for the opposite reason. We don't want the Babe Ruth to hit like 100 home runs either. I got some standard packs for Daily Live Bronze. Okay, let me switch this over real quick while I sign in. All right, so I'm signed in here. We're gonna do it's the Sunday still up for no reason. I'm in this tournament twice with both licenses. I used to do this all stuff behind the scenes. I'm tempted to go Mike Scott since he's so good, but this Troy Glaus plays shortstop too. So let me go there. I'm going to treat this like a speed draft just because I have to do two of these within the next 30 minutes. I don't normally go pitcher this early, but he's so good, and these batters are so dated already. Oh, this Morneau's pretty good actually, but he's a first baseman. I usually don't go first base this early. All right. All right. Oh, ooh. I remember this 1 foot 4 power Andrew Jones and a center fielder locked down like Fister and between Joe and Phil Necro, Joe has a better home run suppression, so I should go with him. See, this is the reason I shouldn't have gone with Morneau because there's a even more higher power first baseman in the gold mound. Uh, I don't love the control, and the HRA is a little low, actually. It's a little splitty. Oh, left field only Jason Bay? Come on. Do I go bullpen this early? How about catcher? All right, I guess we're going bullpen early. Let's lock down shortstop right now. Do we platoon at shortstop? Actually, this Nicky can play second base too, so really like this Joe Adele card. I don't know if it's still relevant right now. We don't need Mazeroskis, we just got Nicky, so we'll go. I got nowhere for Segura to play. I like that card. Okay, we'll go Reggie for some. Okay, let's just power up our outfield. Go Adele and Reggie. No pitcher I'm crazy about here, so. All right, we're a little behind on pitcher, so we'll go Swindell. That's a good card. Some of these lower movement guys, they actually have the high HRA, low PBAP shape, so I got to click on them to see until I start to remember who's who. Or I could lock down a catcher. All right, we're still only 5 catchers in out of 10, so we'll keep going. Leaders. I wish his framing was better. He might end up being my backup, but we're going to grab him first. Kind of just want to finish this up so we can get to the experiment. I'm psyched about the experiment. I have some Mets that I want to bring into the team to take the place of some of the players who are too good. Some of these players were not scrubby enough. Pretty sure I like this Max Manning card. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Let's go Dunn. So here's the thing. I know probably Dunn is not worth taking here, but I'm so trained by 5L and 6L that when I see that Adam Dunn card, I'm like, ooh, Adam Dunn. Same with Jerkstore here. He's probably not worth taking in a draft that includes perfect cards, but I see him and I just like Pavlovian response. I'm like, ooh, Jerkstore. Okay, this is the stage where I do a quick roster check. I have the AI just run a lineup and then I do a graphical. Okay, so I forgot I have a backup catcher problem here. We're still only 6 catchers in though, so that we're okay. But it was a good reminder going to round 11. Now we're in round 12. This Fitzgerald always bores me. I kind of want to swing for the fences here and take this guy. Averill, there's a few guys like this that have like the big power eye at catcher, and I'll just play him versus lefties. Oh, Steve Trout. We'll grab him. Late round pitcher. So let's see. Oh, yeah, we needed him too. We only have 4 starters, 2 relievers, and 1 closer. So we're 7 pitchers in. That's 8 pitchers in. And that's a problem now because we only have 5 picks left. So we got to use 4 of them on pitchers. And I don't think we're going to have 4 pitchers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because this Hod has terrible control. All right, that one's done. All right, so that's done. Hey, Ripley the Oriole rating in. Thank you very much, Ripley. I appreciate it. I was actually watching some of your Montreal Expos save. Hope you had a good stream. The slopper has spoken, says Gigi-san. Welcome, everybody. Here's what we're doing tonight. So I've been doing some experiments in the base game, and during the course of them, realized that we need a playground or a sandbox that is set up the right way. So when you bring in a bunch of really great players, um, they don't get nerfed. Some player was nicknamed Stopper, but the chat mentioned it as Slopper. Slopper. I love it. That's a great name. Is he a pitcher? Does he fill the stopper role? Is he Slopper the stopper? So I'm trying to find here. So now, when you throw 83 miles per hour with a 72-mile-per-hour slurve and a 67-mile-per-hour change, he's he's some outfielder. That's still great. I like it. Slopper. Okay, so this is what it's based on. I had this idea for an experiment when Paul Sporer dropped the Nelly Fox card on us with 173 avoid K. And I wanted to put an entire lineup of Nelly Foxes up against an entire lineup of Nate Cornejos. Nelly Fox has his crazy high avoid K, and Nate Cornejo has his crazy low stuff. And stuff is how often a pitcher strikes someone out, and avoid K is how often a batter strikes out. So I thought maybe we'll get a season where Nelly Fox doesn't strike out at all over 700 plate appearances. But then something weird happened. The RNG happened. The simulation engine happened, and Nate and Nelly Fox struck out 70 to 90 times. Each Nelly Fox struck out 70 to 90 times in a season. And this is a dude who struck out 10 to 20 times a season. And he's facing a guy who can't strike anyone out. And so, after doing some experimenting and talking to some people who know the simulation engine, it turns out what happens is that 173 avoid K kind of becomes the league average. And so, instead of Nelly Fox having God avoid K, he has average avoid K because he's the average. And so he strikes out a bunch of times. Um, yeah, really. That's how it's set up. So here's the way it was explained to me. If you bring in an entire league of Babe Ruths, they're not going to all hit 50 home runs. They become the average, so they're all going to hit 20 home runs. Now, that's not how I would set up the game because I think if people want to bring in a bunch of Babe Ruths, they want to see him hit 50 home runs. They don't want to see him all hit 20 home runs. But that's how it's set up. But, we're smart, we're clever, we can find ways around it. Shouldn't you just be able to set the league parameters to MLB league average? So there are things like you can set the ratios, right? You can like double the home run rate or something. Um, there's two issues to that. The first is, what if it's a bunch of Babe Ruth and Ty Cobbs? I don't want the Ty Cobbs necessarily to get double home runs. Or let's say Ichiro's, because I like Ichiro. So that's part of it. I don't want to just inflate everyone's home runs. So yeah, Matt Spector 47. That's what would happen if I reset the modifiers. It would raise or lower all ships. And I don't necessarily want that. I just want the Babe Ruth to play like Babe Ruth. So what we did figure out though is, and I'm gonna give myself a little credit for being clever on this, is let me see if I can. I'm clever enough to think of it, but I'm not clever enough to find the slide. Okay, so in episode 45, I figured out a way to address this. It used to be Nate Cornejos and Nelly Foxes facing Nate Cornejos and Nelly Foxes. Well, the problem was we didn't have enough people with low avoid K, and we didn't have enough pitchers with high stuff. So now the Nate Cornejos pitch on a team with Evan White, who was a Seattle Mariners first baseman who struck out a ton. And now the Nelly Foxes playing a team with pitcher Matthew Boyd, who was the Detroit Tigers pitcher who struck out a lot of people. He had like 11.6 strikeouts per nine. So now Nelly Fox isn't the average player, and Nate Cornejo isn't the average pitcher. We've now created bookends of avoid K and bookends of stuff. So now they should act like themselves. And for the most part, they did. This experiment worked. So the starter, Nate Cornejo, as you can see, they average 0.5 strikeouts per nine or less. And the Nelly Foxes, which is the important part. Here it is. The Nelly Foxes, they're back to striking out not just 10 to 20 times, but sometimes single digits, which makes sense because it's in a league full of Nate Cornejos who can't strike anybody out. So now we understand better. Just imagine being the guys that actually struck out, right? Well, fortunately, they're all Nelly Foxes, so they can't really give each other too hard of a time because they'd just be making fun of themselves. Um, so this experiment, they gave me idea. So I'm usually doing these experiments, and if I want a team of Nelly Foxes and Nate Cornejos facing each other, there's two teams, right? I have two experimental teams. So if it's important to the game engine that we have basically low end players so that the high end players act like high end players, well, then let me put that in the game. And so what I'm doing is I'm creating a league for experiments where the American League is just all scrubs. They're all like the kind of the worst major leaguers I could find across history. And the whole point of that is to create that lower baseline. So then if on the experimental side I bring in a bunch of Babe Ruth, then they're going to act like Babe Ruth because now their power is benchmarked against these Mario Mendozas and not benchmarked against the other Babe Ruths. TLC won't like that. No scrubs for them. That's true. But here's the thing, though. They actually can't be too scrubby. Um, I can't lower their ratings. So here's what was surprising. When I went here, I can show you. Let's pull up the game engine. Sorry, I'm still kind of new to streaming, so sometimes a little slow on this stuff. Oh, also, I should warn you. Um, when my OOTP is thinking really hard, sometimes I lose audio because my laptop is terrible. So I apologize in advance. Okay, so here's what was surprising. If you haven't used Editor, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Not only do you get to see what's behind every player, but you can also edit it. So let's look at. Oh, also, see these 2.5 star players? They're too good. So that's what I'm doing tonight. Is I'm trying to replace those 2.5 star players with even worse players. So let's find the namesake of this team. Let's find Mario Mendoza. This actually might be too old of a reference for some baseball fans, but Mario Mendoza is known for the Mendoza line, which is kind of slang for hitting because his career average is right around there. He had several seasons where he hit like 199 or 200. So the problem is, so here let me show you an editor here. Right, you would think his batting ratings would be like in the hundreds, but his BABIP is 400. Matter of fact, do you know that name? His avoid K is 393, and so on a 550 scale, he's in the 400s. Well, oh, maybe this is a problem. I might have inadvertently picked too good of a year for him. He's hitting 244 this year based on these ratings. I was pretty careful to try to pick the right seasons for each player, but I might have picked the wrong one for him. Let's see what I picked. So I use these text files to do mass imports of players into the game. If you haven't done it that way, I highly recommend it. It is by far the easiest and simplest way to bring a lot of players into your save. Okay, so here's that text file I used. All right, so for Mario Mendoza, you can see here I used 1979. So for each player, it's their player ID, the year of the card or player that you want, and then the destination. So I always make the destination franchise time machine, and then when I take over a team, I change their abbreviation. That way, yeah, Matt Spector, he could pick it, and Ray Ordonez could pick it. That's one of the reasons Ray Ordonez is not on this team, is because basically I have to have players who are not good at anything because I don't want to mess up the baseline by having someone who's like too fast or too good in the field. Um, so this 1979 Mario Mendoza, let me pull up Baseball Reference. I might have inadvertently typed in the wrong year and given him too good of a card. So you want this like 2020 overall and potential. So 20 is too low. It's a fine line because what happens is if it's all 20s, then the Babe Ruth would hit 100 home runs each. And we don't want that to happen either. Um, and all this I'm figuring up as I go. So I may say some things in here that are based on my experimentation, but it might be my sample size might be too small, so it might be wrong. But I've also backed it up by talking to some folks at OOTP and also talking to some folks who do modeling in the game. And the part about the normalization does seem to be backed up by both OOTP folks and the modeling. Hey, different Jason, welcome back. So you think I do want the 79 season? I thought so too. But let's pull it up together. Let me share the screen with y'all. Sorry, I'm very slow at this using OBS to switch back and forth and stuff. So I appreciate y'all being patient with me. Also, for those of you who watch me from time to time, it may be a little noisier than normal today. I'm relegated to the basement for the next week or so. My mother-in-law's in town, and so I'll be streaming from the basement. The office that we use doubles as a guest room. Okay, so 1979. Yeah, so we wanted at least 100 plate appearances. And yeah, 198 average, 466 OPS. 1979 is right. But then, why is it that when I go to the game engine, so one thing we can check is on the bio page. Oh, this is historical year 1980. So for some reason, it imported the wrong Mario Mendoza. That is really weird because oh, no, no, no. You know what it is? We're in the off season. We're in the off season, so the game has already clicked over to the 1980 Mendoza. So we did bring in the right Mario Mendoza. Um, this should be the case for everyone on the roster. Let me double check. Well, I need to know their individual years, but I think we brought in the right one. The fact that the notepad file is right makes me pretty sure because the game sometimes messes some stuff up, but I don't think it's going to mess this up. This says 1979, so it's going to bring in 1979. I feel okay about that. Yeah, I think because we already flipped over to the next season or ended the previous season, I think the game year advanced. And so now we're looking at his, oh, well, let's just double check. What did his 1980 season look like? Yeah, okay, in 1980, he had a whopping 245. So that's exactly what we're seeing. Yeah, Mad Spectre, those OPS pluses are brutal. Um, yeah, so that's why now when we go into here, this section of editor that shows you based on these ratings, he would hit 244. So these ratings are based on that. Anyway, the takeaway though is even a 244, right? I would have thought the overall contact for a 244 hitter would be more like 200 or 250. Um, he raked he raked at 245. That's right. Um, because if you think about it, the ratings 1 to 550, right? And 550 is the max for a major leaguer, you would think um, okay, the midpoint's gonna be 275, but it's not. A 244 hitter here has a 400 contact. And I think the issue is the game has to have room for people even below Mario Mendoza, right? Because this is a 244 hitter in the majors. Well, you need room for a 244 hitter in AAA and in Double A and Single A. And so that's why I was just going to go into editor and make up these players. But then I realized I might make them too bad or too good because it's not clear like where that line needs to be. But it is clear like that the 1979 Mario Mendoza is not good. And so we could bring him in. So so that's what we're doing tonight. So we're working on this roster and hey, playoff pressure, what's up? Welcome back. We're still doing some crazy stuff in the base game. Well, actually, I'm setting up the playground for doing crazy stuff in the base game. It takes a little bit of work, but I think it's going to make our experiments go a lot better. So the issue I had was, I think this initial roster was a little too good. And let me show you what I mean. I got some screenshots from the sim. Let's go down to all right. So let's start with the standings. Okay, this team you can see down here, franchise time machine. I think it's the All Mendoza team. It got truncated there. They won 36 games, but if they were truly as bad as I was hoping for, I actually think it should have been worse because 40 is what the 62 Mets won. And granted, that was a shorter season, but I don't think we should be that close to the 42 Mets or the 62 Mets. And so then I kind of looked at the stats and said, okay, well, where are our problems? And by problem, I mean players who are too good. You see here, Marvelous Marv Throneberry, an original Met. This is the year before he became a Met. He actually hit 24 home runs, so we definitely have to get rid of him. Evan White, I'm torn. 19 home runs is actually not a lot in 2023. This is a 2023 run environment. And he strikes out a ton, so I'm okay with keeping him. And then we had a few players who I think are too fast. Like this Billy Hamilton had 34 stolen bases. I think he's probably going to be gone. Um, who else? This Ryan Langerhans, I think might be too good. He also had a bunch of stolen bases. And then on the pitching side, I think we did a good job with the pitchers. I mean, you look at the starters, we had 3 20-game losers, a 19-game loser, and a 17-game loser. I mean, that's what we're looking for here. My one concern is this Bobby Ayala, who had like wretched stats, but he still managed to have 23 saves, a sub 4 ERA, and a whip below 1.2. And so that's a little too good for this team. So Ayala, we might have to find a replacement for Ayala. Now, fortunately, I'm a Mets fan, so I have a a lot of familiarity with some terrible Mets players. So I think that's where we're going to go for some of these. And, last night I was having a hard time thinking of additional outfielders we could bring in. But the chat was super helpful. Um, and, they really helped me fill out the roster so we could do the experiment last night. But then it hit me like, I'm putting this together this team of all-time busts, and I'm gonna replace their current ratings with their potential ratings. So they basically like they'll instantly become like what the scouts thought they would be. Armando Benitez for the Braves would be a good close for me. Let's check that out. Thank you, Matt Spector. Let's switch over to BREF and check out Armando Benitez. Closers in general are so mercurial. I think a lot of them are going to have like really terrible seasons to go with their really good seasons. Okay, Armando Benitez. Oh, you're being sarcastic, but I remember him as a Met, so I was like, I don't doubt that he might be terrible. But here's the thing: for every closer, they have this season, right? He has this 2007 season where he goes 5.36 ERA, 1.55 WHIP. But you know what? He still has too many strikeouts per nine. So now that I know you're being sarcastic, oh right, versus versus the Braves. Now I got you. Um, Mets fan since 1996. Love it, love it. So I went back to my Mets fandom to look for an outfielder, and so I have this other project I'm working on. Oh, sorry, I just realized I said all this. So yeah, I'm gonna take all these busts and go back to when they were still prospects. And you call Benitez the worst closer in franchise history, and no one likes it. um, so it's called bust to best. I might come up with a better name for it, but so basically all these back to when they still had high potential ratings in the game because they scouts thought they were going to be good, and replace their current ratings with their potential ratings, so they'll instantly become what the scouts thought they'd become. And we'll see what they can do. And one of the first picks on that team for me was Mets prospect Sean Abner. And I was like, Lastings Millage. Oh, that's a good one. Let's look at Lastings Millage next. So Sean Abner was to be like the next big thing, and he was most certainly not. So yeah, here we go. Like here, oh, that's a little too low, but yeah, here we go. 230 split season year 1991. 230 plate appearances total. 194 average. Oh, ads. Thank you. Let me pause for ads. All right, I think we're back. Yeah, Matt Spector, if you start following the Mets in '96, he will be before your time. He was a prospect in the mid '80s. I actually thought he actually did come up with the Mets, but he turns out he didn't. He came up with the Padres. But this 1991 season for us is perfect. Chef's kiss on this one. 194 average, 537 OPS. This is what we're looking for here. And in his career, he's played, you'll see here in the position section, he's got 8, 7, and 9. So primarily center fielders, but he's got some center left and right. So that'll help us too from a roster perspective. So we're going to take Sean Abner, 1991. So the reason I use baseball reference is the baseball reference player ID is up here in the URL. It's the same as the OOTP player ID. Are we looking for bad closing seasons or just bad relief seasons? Um, it could even a different Jason. It can actually just even be a bad pitcher season, and the AI will put someone in the closer role. But one of the things that tends to happen is the AI will often find, as bad as AI is, the AI will sometimes find the best pitcher in a group of bad pitchers. And I think that's what happened here. I think we all thought Ayala was going to be terrible, but the AI saw something in him and he pitched a little too well. So we're going to grab this player ID in the year 1991. And sorry, I don't think I have the sheet up. So let me pull the sheet. I don't put it right into the Word document because I like to keep track of players in this spreadsheet. Let me share the spreadsheet with you. I apologize for some of you. This is going to be super bright, just like my baseball reference page. Traxel we did look at, and believe it or not, he was a little too good. So we did not take Steve Traxel. Yeah, Steve Trashcan, Mass Spectrum. My friends, I used to call him Steve Trashel. So same kind of idea. Let me share with you my Google sheet. Steve Trout had a horrendous reliever season. Okay, we'll look at that too. Okay, so here's the sheet we're using. All right, so Bobby Ayala is going to be the one who's going to get demoted here. Or I say demoted, but he's being demoted off the all-time terrible team, so it's hard to feel sorry for him. He's actually being promoted, I guess, off of the team. Oh, wait. But our replacement right now is for Marvelous Marv Throneberry. Oh, no. You know what? Let's replace Billy Hamilton because Abner played center field. Billy Hamilton's gone because he was too fast. So we'll remove Billy Hamilton here. And we're going to add Sean Abner. And we're going to take the 1991. Oh, I put him in the wrong spot. I keep doing this. That's where he goes. I'll fix the formatting later. I keep wanting to say New York Mets, but it's actually San Diego Padres slash California Angels at the time. Okay. And okay, since I already moved Ayala out, let's look for his replacement. And let me show you why we picked this guy. I don't think we were wrong to pick him. Let's go back to baseball reference. Oh, Doug Sis, Matt Spector, Doug Sis. Don't all Met fans of a certain age loathe Doug Sis. Um, I here is the problem though, Matt Spector. As much as that your statement is true, from a historical perspective, he's not. He may not be in this tier. So we took 1998 Bobby Ayala. Now ERA is not, I think, clearly not the best stat, but 1 in 10, 7.29 ERA. Let's go to WHIP, which I think more people believe in. 1.673 WHIP. I think part of the problem is his strikeouts per nine was a little too high. So his stuff was too good in terms of like perfect team or OTP language. Um, yeah, 3.96 FIP, right. And a 63 ERA plus. But I think in the end, this 8.1 strikeouts per nine is what made him too good for this team. So that was a good learning for me is that the 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 stuff has to be low enough, I think, for these pitchers. Otherwise, they end up being too good. His ERA was almost double his fifth. But let's, since his name came up, let's look at Doug Sisk. That is a guy you want to trade for. Even that doughy face brings up bad memories. Okay, so you know what? I do stand corrected. This season is maybe with the 1.726. That might be historically bad. Yeah, you know what? Good call. Good call, Matt Spector. We might be able to take this guy. Yeah, let's do it. I think this is a real good replacement, especially because his strikeouts per nine is so low. It's a really good counter to the player we just removed, the Bobby Ayala that we just removed. So we're going to take him in his 85 season. Dougie Sisk. All right, so a couple more players we have to address here, and then we'll be ready to jump back into the sim and sim this season. Um, so oh, Marv Thornberry is still there, so we need a worse outfielder. Braden Looper, 2005. I do think we looked at him at least briefly, but let's look again. You can never check too often with these guys. And frankly, it's fun to see some of these stat lines. All right, Braden Looper. And I'm going to ask you guys to switch gears to think of outfielders for a bit here after this one. 2005. Yeah, it's bad, but when the whip comes in below 1.5, that's usually a sign to me that it's probably not bad enough. But I'm very happy with the Sisk. I like the Doug Sisk there for the Bobby Ayala. And I really like the Sean Abner for who did replace with Sean Abner? It was oh, Billy Hamilton. Yeah, Billy Hamilton was just too fast. All right, different Jason. We're gonna look at one more reliever because I am always looking for lefties, but then start giving me some outfielders, please. Especially a right fielder. Because right field is a place where you usually have like pretty good hitters because that's a place you want to hide your bad fielding big bats. So Steve Trout. Oh, it's funny that Steve Trashbag comes up in the same search. No, 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 it's fine, different Jason. Especially because he's a lefty. All right, let's see. You're recommending 88? Oh my goodness. Yes. I think maybe the reason we didn't you know what? I don't think we looked at this because 50 innings is kind of the cutoff. So we would have taken him, I think. I also like the strikeout to walk ratio below one. That's fantastic. And a whip above two, nice touch. That's a nice touch. All right, I'm leaning towards putting him in. Let me see if we can find a left-handed. Well, let's go back to the stats and see who is a lefty reliever we can bump for him. How bad were they that he got 13 starts? All right, let's look at our pitching stats and let's look at our bullpen. So yeah, this would be good because we only have two lefties, Avery and Rigetti, uh, and both were truly terrible stat wise, and both performed truly terribly. So we're keeping them for sure. We already dumped Ayala for being too good. Um, Mets fan, yes, I am a Mets fan, and then I grew up a Mets fan. Then when I moved to the Pacific Northwest about 15 years ago, I decided I could become a Mariners fan too because I was going to be going to games, and they're in the American League, so like no real conflict there. And at the time, it was like never like the Mariners and Mets were going to meet in the postseason. So I've been a Mariners fan too for about 15 years. Um, wow, Ken Cloud came in with a sub 5 ERA. Is he the one we're going to cut? Oh, amazingly, and it must be baked into the game for the settings that every team has to have an all-star representative because Ken Cloud made the all-star game. um, I was wondering where Facero is, but they put Facero in the starting rotation with his 50 stamina. Oh, you know what? That's fine though, because then we can move Facero back into the pen, and then because Trout got starts that year, right? Yeah, 15 games, 13 starts. So that means we can start Steve Trout, which will be fantastic. Who is the one we're gonna drop here? I think maybe let's reorder these guys by their throwing side. Here we go. Arroyo's already gone. Um, I mean it's not Arroyo. Ayala's already gone. The next lowest whip is Jose Lima, but we need his home runs allowed. He allowed 41 home runs, so we're not cutting him. Um, is it Carlos Silva? It might be because Silva's control might be too good. I took a season where he didn't have normal gate control. The reason he's on this team, I think, is he's a good example of a pitcher with control but without command. So he was always in the zone, but he was always getting ripped because he was always in the zone without command control. So it might be Silva. We cut Silva. He's comes out. Oh no, wait. No, yeah, he's in the bullpen. He had the lowest bullpen ERA behind Ayala, who was already cut. Now ERA is not the best stat, but he's also the lowest WHIP, I think, in the bullpen behind Ayala. Aside from Lima, and like I said before, we're not giving up Lima in his 41 home runs allowed. Um, which amazingly enough, his 41 home runs allowed still below the 48 he actually gave up in the season we selected. So 41 is bad, but not even bad by his standards. Okay, so Carlos Silva, I think you're too good. So let's go back to the sheet and let's move Carlos Silva out. And I'm really surprised when I started streaming. I thought, oh, I should probably do all this roster stuff, offline, and then just do the Sims online. But I've been pleasantly surprised how well the chat responds to these sessions, and really seem to enjoy, like, bringing up their favorite good or bad players. So, really appreciate y'all being patient with this. All right, Max Spectre, 2:30 a.m. there. Time to go to sleep. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for your inputs. It's been a lot of fun. And sorry, I just noticed your Jake Deacon comment. Have a good night, man. Come back again and visit. Always like having a lively chat. It makes these streams much more fun. And I'm usually on at 10:30 p.m. Pacific time most nights other than Wednesday. But if you want to throw me a follow, it'll pop up whenever I go on. So Have a good night, man. Oh, Chris Young for the outfield. Thank you. I'll look at that next. I appreciate it. Have a good night. These callbacks are a blast. Good. I'm glad. I really didn't think they would be fun for viewers, but I'm glad they are. Because they are something I have to do. And I took a chance. I did one of them on stream, and it was before I was an OOTP affiliate. Oh, by the way, you're getting drops for this if you haven't already gotten your drops. So it's the one thing I can do to pay forward for folks who have been so kind to me when I started playing Perfect Team. That was to become an OOTP affiliate and give folks kind of a last chance at the end of each night to get some drops. So yeah, I'm glad you like these callbacks, Jason. We're taking 1988. Man, that is just a terrible season. Sorry, I know I'm just gonna grab the 1988, but I'm just marveling at this stat line here. 0.45 strikeout to walk ratio, 13.7 hits per nine. That's impressive. All right, let's take this Trout 1988. Yeah. Okay, and he's a lefty, so that's something we're always looking for. The funny thing is, the good version of Steve Trout, I added to my Father's Day special fathers and sons team. It was the best father son combos I could find that would form a roster. So the form a roster part is an important caveat because it wasn't just the best father sons I could find, it was the ones that had the right positions that could make a roster. So, some people's favorite father sons didn't make it on, and it was because, I needed position flexibility and coverage. But of course, I started with the Griffeys and the Bonses, so that seemed to make most people happy. And by the way, that team destroyed the 2022 major leagues. I think they won like 135 games or something. Um, that VOD is no longer on my Twitch because as an affiliate, I only get VOD staying up for 2 weeks. But I copy everything over to YouTube. I export all my VODs to YouTube. So if you check me out on YouTube, same username, Franchise Time Machine, you can find the VOD for that Father's Day special. Chris Young. So there's two Chris Youngs. I don't know which is which from this view. So center fielder. This might be it. Well, it's a 200 batting average season for 2013, so I think we found the right one. All right, now right off the bat, though, I'm a little worried that 12 home runs and 10 stolen bases in this world we're talking about is like being a 30-30 player. So I think he might be too fast and have too much power. The evidence for that is that the OPS is above 600. Um, so I think we might have another Billy Hamilton here. So we're not going to do that. But let me go back to my list of Mets. If the chat doesn't have another right fielder, um, oh wait, I forgot. Someone had suggested. Let me scroll up and check. So I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due here. It was Lastings Millage, but I want to give credit to whoever said that. Oh, it's Mad Spectre, who's already left the chat. So, Mad Spectre, thanks for another good one. We're gonna look up Lastings Millage. There he is. The interesting thing, and maybe this is obvious to some of you guys, it wasn't to me until I started doing it. So many choices for shortstop and second base. And catcher. And it makes sense because for those positions, if you can field the position, a lot of teams didn't care if you could bat the position. So, um, like some of the immediate people who came to mind for me, um, like Mario Mendoza and Domingo Ramos, a lot of middle infielders. So the shortstop and second base were filled up first, and then it was really hard to find like corner infielders and corner outfielders because that's usually where your good bats are hidden. Yeah, you know what? Surprisingly, he's too good. He doesn't have a season below 200 except this one that's too short. Um, oh, and that was part of a total 2009 where he's definitely too good. He's almost a 280 hitter. And that's the other thing that has happened is some of these players that I thought were terrible in hindsight, not too bad. The other thing is, unfortunately, you can even look up a lot of times your favorite player and then find like at the beginning or the end of their career, just a terrible season. Oh, Jason Bay was who I was going to look up. Right, so you're probably thinking, no, I remember him. He was a good outfielder for the Pirates, and he was. But by the time he got to the Mets, here he is, 165 for 200 plate appearances, 536 OPS. He played left field, but in his career, he has center field and right field. So Oscar Azucar, I will look him up, but I think if I recall correctly, he might be too fast. Um, but let me grab Jason Bay real quick because he's going to be the one to beat right now for replacing. Oh, first let's move Marvelous Marv out of his spot here. So this was a sentimental pick for me. I mean, I wasn't around then, but um, as an original Met, I was excited to have him on the team. But it turns out he had a little too much pop. So he is out of the way. Now I'm going to grab this Jason Bay player ID. And what was the year of that horrendous season? 2012. The plate appearance threshold, Jason, is 100. So a different Jason. I apologize. I've been shortening your name sometimes to Jason. I hope that's cool with you. If it's not, let me know and I'll just keep going with a different Jason. Jason works. Thank you. Appreciate it. I always like to check. And surprisingly, right, that was not a Mets season. Or was it Mets? Oh yeah, it was a Mets season. Of course it was. That's why I remember it. That 536 OPS for a corner outfielder is some magnificently terrible play. All right, so I'm going to go back to the stats in a second here to see if we need to replace someone else. But let's look up Oscar. So that's the thing, like with if he's especially with center fielders. But no, he played left. Okay, with center fielders, you have the same issue with middle infielders, where a lot of teams will overlook poor bat for speed and range. Ooh, this is nice though. Oh man, Jason, this is a good find. Uh, this Padres year, 168 at bats, almost 200 plate appearances, so definitely qualifies. 190 batting average, 457 OPS, truly a terrible OPS. And only one steal, so definitely not too fast for us. Um, OPS plus of 29. Oh man. Okay, he's on the team. We just have to find a spot for him. Great find, Jason. Appreciate it. And it's going to be his 92 season. All right, so let's go back to the roster and see who we can replace. Or actually, let's go back to the stats and see who we should replace. We need the batting stats. All right, so Billy Hamilton's gone for being too fast. Um, Steve Joltz, I did think about getting rid of for his speed, but his batting is so bad. I think he needs to stay. Um, Langerhans might be too good. He had 16 bombs and 22 steals, which for this team is like going 40-40. All right, Jason. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for your great suggestions. Appreciate it. And you can always find me around 10:30 Pacific time. So, or otherwise, like I told Matt Spector, throw me a follow and I'll pop up on your feed when I come on. But yeah, have a good night. Appreciate all your help. All right, so the Jason suggestion of Oscar Azakar is going to make the team and is going to replace Ryan Langerhans. That really helps solve another one of our problems here. So your East Coast, yeah. Whenever you can, or just watch the VODs. If you ever have anything you want to contribute, you can do it through my Discord. Um, I should be prepared with the Discord link, but I don't have one. But anyway, I'm always on this on the chat, so find me in the chat and I can send you a Discord link. It'd be good to hear from you anyway, in any ways. So, all right, so Oscar Azakar is going to replace Langerhans. All right, so let's do this. I never thought, looking at this Langerhans season, that he'd be getting cut for being too good. Goes to show you, it's hard sometimes to predict what the game engine is going to do with these stat lines. There's hidden greatness in some of these players. All right, he was primarily a center fielder. So there's a way you can import players where you, instead of importing just their fielding for that season, it imports their fielding for their career. So it imports all of their positional history, which is what we want for a sim like this. It's a Padres season. Oops, not Cal, just Padres. Oh shoot, I forgot. I just dropped Langerhans. So I kept calling him Shane Langerhans until someone in the chat reminded me I was probably thinking of Shane Langoliers, and it's Ryan Langerhans. All right, as a car, and we want 1992. Okay, let's center everything. Not that this matters, but let's just get it centered. All right, now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to create a new notepad file. All right, here's the most recent one we used. So we're going to create a new one. It's just a blank file. You can use, I think you can use any word processing program as long as it can output as a TXT file, because that's what OOTP is going to want. And then basically, I just highlight these three rows, I copy those, and then go to the notepad file, and then I paste it in. Now, the only problem is this kind of division between columns needs to be a comma. So I just need to delete and enter a comma in for each one. This is the tedious part, so just bear with me. You're going to stop seeing it, but rather than scroll with it, I'm just going to try to finish this quickly. And so you'll have to just trust me that I'm doing this for all 26 players. All right, and then we have to do the same thing between the year and the destination, the three-letter destination. For us, it's franchise time machine. Now, the really cool part of having this designation is, I mentioned I'm going to do this with multiple teams. Um, I can just change each team's abbreviation temporarily to FTM just for the import, and then change it back, so I don't have to change this file because you kind of see how tedious it can be to edit this file. So I'm going to save this file now. It's going to be Mendoza All Stars V2. Okay, so I think we're now ready to go try this out. So we didn't change anything here, so I don't have to save it. We're just going to load a new game or create a new game. No, and here we go again. Yeah, we made some good changes though, I think. I don't know if you've been lurking or just joined us, but we found some real gems of terrible seasons to replace some of our overperforming players. And we had Ripley the Oriole to thank for a nice raid earlier tonight. Brought in a big crew. All right, just setting up the season here. So Nolan, you'll have to help me out. You've heard a bunch of my streams before. I'm having a sim, but if it's noise or anything, let me know. I'll try to figure out some things. Early in the chat, um, folks said it was okay, but you've heard me probably the most, so you might know if it sounds different. Oh no, nothing bad. It's just my mother-in-law's visiting for my daughter's birthday, so the office doubles as a guest room. So I'm just uh, I've just shifted down to the basement. It's where I used to work before we set up the office, so it's kind of like coming home. But I never used to do anything audio related down here. So Sorry, let me real quick see what I named the other save because I want to name it something similar if I can. Um, okay, here's what I named it, and I'll name it the same thing. Just gonna paste it in here, and this will be V2. Okay, now this is where it often I lose audio when the when OOTP has to think really hard. So while it sets up the season, I might cut out or I might lose. You might lose me completely for a bit. Again, this is where I'd like to get better at Twitch and OBS and just run the ads now so that it doesn't have to run when we're playing the game and nothing's interesting happening anyway. Be a good time to run the ads, but no, yeah, you did tell me that last time, didn't you? I'm gonna do that next time. Slash commercial. The next time it has to think, I'm gonna do that. Thanks, Nolan. It has been going faster since I turned off the minor leagues and stuff. Oh, and then put 60 so you have a minute. Okay. And then if I do that, no, does it automatically like eliminate or postpone the ads that would run automatically? I would hope so. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Okay, so we're gonna, as usual, we're gonna do the athletics. This is 2023. You have ads turned off on your channel. Okay. All right, so here we are. Oh, wait. Did I click on the wrong team? Okay, change of plans. We're going to do the Diamondbacks today. I don't think that makes a big difference. The only thing is, it is another variable. I thought for sure I did the athletics, though. Oh, I checked no team? Okay, so I just have to assign myself to a team then. Or am I the Diamondbacks? Yeah, I don't think I'm anyone's manager right now. Okay, I am a commissioner, but I cannot be fired though. So why don't I just assign myself to the we want the athletics. All right, let's see if I can remember how to do this. There's a way to assign myself. Oh, act as Oakland Athletics. Acting as manager does not take away computer control. Okay, so I have to go to available jobs. There's a way to assign myself though. I need to figure that out. Let's see. Trying to find. Maybe I can do it in available jobs. See, this is just apply, but I think there's a way to assign because I'm in commissioner mode. Is it through front office? I think I should be in here. Oh, I'm not in here. All right, let me see if I can remember how to do this. It's been a long time since I messed this up. Nolan, any ideas on how to do this? I could always just start the season over, but that's such a hassle. Well, while I'm here, let's turn off injuries. Let's turn off popularity for All-Star voting. Pitchers can't win the MVP. There's somewhere in here where I can do this. See, normally you can go to the coach. Yeah, but I can't find myself because when I looked under personnel, see the job's not highlighted because I'm acting as right now. Should I stop? Let me stop acting as. Okay, now I can apply. Oh, did they just give me the job? Oh, I guess because I'm in commissioner mode, they just gave me the job. That's cool. Okay, thanks, Nolan. Problem solved. Appreciate it. I didn't know they would just give me the job. Because I know when you go to hire personnel, it could take a few days. So I always just like assign them to my teams. Um, so let me. I have a checklist I reference. Okay, historic transactions are off when I set up the league. Injuries off. All-star popularity influence off. Do not disturb. That's the other thing. So I recommend not checking this do not disturb and instead unchecking these down here. This will stop the game from interrupting the sim, but not allow the AI to take over your team in any ways. All right, so now the only thing left to do is the actual import. So first we're going to clear out the roster and just delete these players. Okay, then the import happens from the free agent screen. So over here, there's an actions button. This is where you create or import players. Today we're going to import from historical underscore database. And we're going to use that text file that we just created. Mendoza All-Stars version 2. And base fielding ratings on, this is where we have to change it to entire career. And otherwise, I think we're good. Oh, we're going to change this hitter because I use 100 plate appearances as threshold. So we want 100. We don't want to nerf anyone until they're under 100 at bats. We'll make this 15 season, although I don't think that'll be a problem. Okay. This is the other time we might lose audio. So Nolan, you're continuing that Guardians Worst the first season on Friday. You won on Friday. That's awesome. Cool, cool. Was there like a single primary acquisition that you think made it most possible, or was it the sheer force of all the different changes you were making? Yeah, so Nolan does this cool base game thing where he takes a team that finished last in their division the previous season and tries to GM and to a world championship. Oh, that's right, McGuire. You sold the farm for McGuire. I forgot about that. Did he? I saw. It sounds like he must have performed up to expectations then. Okay, so we imported 26 players. That's the first check. That means we didn't mess up any player IDs. Now the other thing we need to do is check their ages because if I ever mess up a year, it'll come in as like a wrong age. You picked up Larkin at the deadline as well. Nice pickup. Were you uh were you already in playoff position at the time, or did he actually like put you over the top? Okay, what was I doing here? Oh yeah, we have to look at our roster. Oh, oh, you know what we did? We didn't change the destination, so our players are probably in the free agent pool, which is a bummer because we're gonna have to find and delete those players so no one else signs them. Yeah, so here's Sean Abner. Oh wait, were they? Oh, thank goodness. Okay, there were no free agents. Like there must have been no free agents at the time, so we can just delete all the. Yeah, 26 players. Now you might think, oh, why not just move all these players to the Athletics? It's actually faster to just like redo the import. Okay, so here's the stuff I forgot. There's a few different ways you can do this, but I always just like to find it here. Under league structure, you can find your team, right? And so in the AL West, the main thing is we have to change this Oakland to FTM because that's how the form is set up. But we'll change this to, we'll call it the Mendoza All Stars. That was the name I think Ezra Denny suggested. So V2, VO2. Okay. All right. So that's a bummer that we have to do that over. But oh, the other thing I like to do is change the logo. I should have known that when the logo wasn't changed. So if you haven't done this before for your teams, you were 3 or 4 games up and you sustained. Well, yeah, I'm sure picking up a Barry Larkin will help with that for sure. I'm assuming you meant Barry Larkin and not Gene Larkin, the former Minnesota Twin. So you just go to select, and if you're not using Steam, you'll have a different file path here, but you can dump your logos into this folder, and then you can grab them whenever you need to. Okay, you see our ball cap logo has changed. When we go back to this screen, our team logo and our three-letter designation is finally changed. All right, so let's do that import again. That's what you did for Perfect Team. All right, let's import our players again. Sorry about that little hiccup. Okay, it says we imported 26 players again. Let's go to our roster and find out if they're there. All right, we're in business. All right, let's take a look and see how our new players are fitting in. Uh-oh, it's getting a little sluggish. Sean Abder, 1.5 stars. Great fit. Oscar Azakar, 1.5 stars. Perfect. Jason Bay, 1.5 stars. Who else is new? Um, oh, Doug Sisk, 2 stars. A little concerning. Steve Trout, 1 star. Outstanding. And I think that's it for the changes. So, yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on Doug Sisk. I'm shocked that he has 2 stars, given what a crappy season we pulled. Um, so I think the big question is, as we head into the sim, what is this team going to do? We know the last time we did this, we had 36 wins, and we took off a few players for being too good. We took off our home run leader and I think our stolen base leader. Here, let me see if I can figure out how to do this. Uh, Max helped me do it last night. Trying to see if I can do this here, but my system's slowing down. Matt Young and Harold Reynolds might surprise. Okay, I'm going to try to create a new poll here. Let's see if I can do this. So bear with me here. How many? Oh, okay. My browser's frozen. Hopefully that doesn't mean that OBS is going to freeze next. Usually when one freezes, everything else starts to freeze too. So I apologize if my OBS freezes. I think it's gonna be worth doing though, so I'm gonna try to do this. Yeah, Nolan, we should look at the stats again to see what Matt Young and Harold Reynolds did. I'm pretty sure Matt Young was terrible because he would have stood out because he was in the starting rotation, and everyone in the starting rotation was bad. And I think Harold Reynolds did hit under 150. He definitely hit under 200. Um, in fact, I'm hoping it. Let me try to switch to that right now. See if I can. I have it on a separate file. Let me switch to this. We can look at the stats until my browser unfreezes. Um, it was a Matt Young. Matt Young was 3-17. I mean, among the starters, he had the fewest losses. I guess that's something. Um, and then let's look at Harold Reynolds. He's the other 2.5 star player, I think, right? Oh, right. What I'm trying to do is also on a browser. So, okay, there he is. Oh, well, you know what? Harold Reynolds, we didn't get a good read on him because the AI didn't play him much. So it is yet to be seen what he might do. All right, I was trying to do a poll because I thought it would be fun to do a poll and let people guess how many wins this team will get with the knowledge that the previous version of this team won 36. But my my Twitch in the browser is frozen. Huh. And now I'm worried if I do anything with it, it'll just crash everything. So let's just go finish setting up the sim. I do have to set up the mailbox. Man, since I started streaming, I realized how loud my mouse is. Every time I click it, it sounds like a pack opening or something. Oh yeah, we have to do lineups and pitching staff. All right, do your thing. I do like that it keeps starting Jose Lima. I don't like that it starts Facero because he's a 50 stamina, and so part of the reason we got Steve Trout was to make him the fifth starter instead of Facero. So let's slide him into the rotation there. And Steve Trout had a very worthy ads. Pausing for ads. All right, back from the ad break. I'm uh I'm messing around with my browser to see if I can get it to do this poll. Probably because I want to try doing a poll. I think it'd be fun, but also I would learn how to do it. So give me a second here while I try to set. So the good thing about Firefox is it seems to cause OBS to crash less. The bad thing is Firefox itself seems to crash a bit more. Can't win. Okay. I wonder if Twitch will give me some sort of achievement for doing my own first poll. Okay, so it'll be less than 10, 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, or for the really bold, 40 plus. All right, and we'll leave it open for, what, 3 minutes? Okay. All right, I don't, hopefully you guys are seeing that. I'm seeing it. I'm going to guess. All right, if anyone wants to play along, go ahead and get your guesses in. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and continue working on this. So I moved Steve Trout into the rotation for Jeff Facero. Facero has 50 stamina. That's the only change I'm going to make. For most of these sims, I try to let the AI do its thing. And now that Facero's in the bullpen, we'll just ask the bench coach for a bullpen assignment. Okay, and he put in Facero's middle relief. It's interesting. Now Steve Avery is the closer, so we'll see what happens with that. We know Bobby Yellow was a little too effective as the closer last time. All right, now we'll do the lineup. And let's ask the bench coach to do its thing. Hopefully, won't have to mess around with this after it's done. Let's show some ratings here in case you want to make some changes. And scouting's off, so that means all the ratings should be 100% accurate. Oh, I should check my email. I wonder if I got my giveaway packs. Because then next time we do this, I can do giveaways. Let me check here. I'm checking my email while the poll closes. And nope, still haven't heard back yet. I mean, I'm assuming I'll hear back on my giveaway packs when Max LP80 hears about his affiliate status. Sounds like Ops is maybe a little slowed down by the All Star game. I know they were away for a while. And, okay, Looks like our poll has closed, so we can start the season here. All right, so lineups. Anything you want to change? Okay, I am going to keep a close eye on um, Quentin McCracken at leadoff, Evan White at cleanup, and Bob Euchre in the three spot. Those are the three places I'm just going to be uh, a little extra um, wary about reviewing their stats to make sure they're not too good for this team. Otherwise, I feel really good that this might be our final lineup for creating that sandbox. All right, so let's just go straight to the sim. I like to do this from the standing screen. Last time I did a highlights of the first game because it was just kind of the novelty of having the team set up and seeing what they would do. But I think we can go right to the sim today. So when I hit finish today, it's going to set up the season. So again, this is another high usage OOTP situation, so it might cause my sound to cut out a little bit. Yeah, in fact, I heard it cut out for a second there just when I started it, but it does appear to be behaving better than most nights, though, so that's good. It does help, though, that I unchecked the historic seasons and I unchecked the minor leagues. So I think that's definitely helping keep the file size small and therefore the workload low. Okay, here we go. We're on March 30th, so when I send the first month, it's just gonna do one or two games. And we're 0-1. Nothing unexpected there. We'll send the next month. Oh, we had a winning record for a second there. We were 2-1. This team is doing way better already than the last version did. We're already at 5 wins. So this might be a problem, but we'll see. It's still small sample size. But I don't think we had 5 wins in our first month last time. Let me see what's going on. Oh shoot. I'm showing sorry, I was showing the screenshot of the data, not the game. Thanks, Nolan. Alright, I switched it now. I'm trying to see what the heck is going on here. Hey Nolan, if I redo the poll, will you vote in it? Because I was the only one who voted in it. Alright, so now I should be showing the game. Let me see. If I go to standings, does it go to standings? Okay. Alright, now we're showing the game. Thank you, Nolan. Oh, it never came up for you? Oh, let me try that again. Let me try a new poll. How many games will this terrible team win in 2023? So I'll do less than 10, 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, and then 40 plus. All right. I'm starting the poll. Do you see the poll, Nolan? Hopefully you see the poll. I'm gonna vote. You voted, awesome. I'm gonna vote too. Okay. I'm gonna I'm gonna keep going with the sim. So anyone who's lurking and wants to jump in on the vote, you'll have extra information that Nolan and I did when we voted. All right. Nolan, I checked my email. I was hoping maybe my giveaway packs had come through. I could have given away packs tonight, but I still have not heard back. So no packs tonight. But whenever they come through, I'm gonna give away packs for polls like that on the Sims. I think that's the most kind of true to what we do here. So we'll do the next month now. We're 5 and 24. Our last, oh, okay, now that looked like we went on a bit of a losing streak there. Our last team started out the gates much slower than this, so it does seem like we're trending for more wins, but at 11 and 47, a 190 win percentage, and we are we're challenging the Rockies and the Nationals for the worst record in the majors, but they're both over 240 win percentage, so we're definitely the worst in the league, which is good. That's what we're looking for. That's the bare minimum we want. Hey, G Block, we've upgraded, and by that I mean downgraded our Mendoza All Star team, trying to make it a little bit worse. 6 consecutive hits by Jason Bay. Wow. 6 consecutive strikeouts by Lima. That's not what we're looking here, guys. Come on. 20 wins already. How did we get better by removing our best players? What the heck is happening? I don't understand this at all. All right, let's go to the All Star game. Let's see if we have any All Stars on our team. It did force the AI to pick one of our teammates for the All Star game. So let's check our mail and see who made it this time. All right, All Star fan voting results. I don't see anyone getting votes, which is good. Very good, very good. That's what we want. The whole idea is this team is not supposed to be very good. Let me just record this. I use that copy button to copy all these emails that contain information on things like All-Star team and postseason awards. Okay, now let's see. These are the rosters. This includes the people who were chosen. And it does seem like they're forcing. Okay, oh my goodness. Doug Sisk is our All-Star. He has a .7 WAR from the bullpen. That's actually really good. 1-1 with a 3.10 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, 6.4 strikeouts per nine. I don't know if he's ever reached that in his life. Okay, at least he's our one All-Star, but he is pitching way too well, and he's one of our new players. I did not put Nunez in yet because we had a couple of really good suggestions from the chat, D Block, but he may have another chance because this team is playing way too well. All right, so let's move on to. Oh, let's see what happens elsewhere. Let's see if Doug Sisk gets in the game. Jeez, Doug Sisk is an all-star. Something's wrong with this game. Oh wait, we're not at the All-Star. We have to sim the day to get the All-Star break. Okay, let's watch the home run challenge. I doubt we'll have anyone in it. Uh-oh, the system's starting to slow down. Oh my goodness. Did the game just crash? The game just crashed. Jesus. All right, let me open it back up. That's perfect. All right, let's see. What am I going to put up here for now? I could put the title slide, I guess. Here's what we're doing. All right. I don't think normally I save it before I start the sim, and I think I forgot to save it. Of course, the one time I didn't save it, okay, so the game's back on, but the continue game is one from a few days ago. Let's see if it'll let me load that game. Okay, it's there, but it's the preseason. Dang it. Man, if it's not one thing, it's another. Did my OBS connection go down too? It looked like, yes, professional. Professional setup, professional streamer for sure. All right, what? Baltimore? What? What is this? What is happening here? All right, let me have the Oakland Athletics job, please. Are we way back at the beginning? Oh man. Okay. Sorry, everybody. Let's see how many of my changes went through. Are injuries turned off? No, it's okay. It's almost like nothing has happened. Yeah, it's still called the Oakland Athletics. All right, we're gonna have to start over. Making popularity not a factor in All-Star voting. Pitchers can't win the MVP. Do you ever have to like rewrite a letter or an email after you've already written it once and then you lose it? And it just seems like the rewrite never seems to like seem as good as the original. Man. All right. Let's go change our logo. It's so demoralizing doing all these things that we just did. All right, we'll load the logo. All right, so the logo's showing up. That's good. Um, let's make sure we don't get interrupted. Let me update my inbox settings. You know, I would be tempted to turn on trade trade rumors or trade requests because I'd be curious to see if anyone wants to trade for any of our crappy players. But okay, I think everything's done. Do we? Oh, do we not have our players either? Do I have to do the import again? We don't have our players either. Okay, import has to be redone. I bet OOTP did this just so that D Block could see it from the beginning. Okay, let's go get our players. The game engine loves D Block, except when it comes to opening, pulling perfect cards. Then the game engine hates D Block. Okay, fielding's ratings based on entire career, pitcher stamina based on imported season. Yeah. OTV gives you so much love that it keeps you in silver with a diamond playoff team. Well, the base game loves you, D Block. The base game loves you. All right, let's go check our roster. Yep, here's our players. I don't understand. Like, we have fewer stars than before. How are we playing better? I mean, I suppose it could also be a combination of RNG, right? Like maybe in the last season, the last sim, um, maybe in the last sim, like it 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 was an outlier on the low side, and maybe this season we're an outlier on the high side, and it just like will seem way off. But all right, give us your pitching staff. Okay, and I'm going to put Steve Trout in the rotation because Avery. Oh, it's not Avery, it's Facero. Facero has borderline. It did change the rotation quite a bit, though. That's interesting. Give us our bullpen. Oh, now it put Facero in the closer role. It previously it had put Avery in the closer role, but now Avery's in the rotation. Okay, interesting, interesting. That's different. Oh, I wonder when it after it crashed, when I reopened it, I wonder if it's the new version. There's a new release, right? So maybe this is the new release and it's treating it differently. Possibly. Yeah, the lineups are different too. Harold Reynolds is DHing and leading off. That was not the case previously. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. We'll see what happens. Oh, and we imported a manager last time, so let's do that again. We because all the sliders in the middle, we imported Sweet Lou. There's Sweet Lou Panella. His sliders. Now let's have Sweet Lou do the pitching staff. It might be different. Oh wait, it's still the bench coach. Oh, because of the sliders are just based on Sweet Lou, but the bench coach is still the bench coach. Okay, that must be it. All right, I don't think there's anything left to do except after we do finish today, we will save the game. Did I do the? Yes, I did that. I did that. All right, let's say let's finish today, and we'll set up the league. Then I'll save it. Then I'll save it. Yeah, and we replaced some we replaced the best performances from the first sim with some terrible players. So I'm shocked that the second sim started so much better. All right, we're ready to start this up. Let's go. The first month will just be a couple days, so it'll just be a game. Okay, we did lose it. That's good. All right, let's do another month. 0 and 8. That's more like it. 1 and 19, 1 and 20. Okay, this is more like it. What was happening in that last sim, I wonder? 2 and 27. This is much more aligned with what happened last time. Whoa, whoa, we just went on a win streak. We're up to 12 wins and our losses stayed in the 30s. What the heck just happened there? 17 and 41. The Nationals are 10 and 46. What is going on? What the heck? All right, that's more like it. We're stuck on 19 wins. 10-game shutdown streak by Jeff Fassero. Oh, man, whoever goes in that closer role just like pitches out of their minds. Because Bobby Ayala, who had a terrible season that we pulled in, he was good in the closer role. All right, I want to look at our calendar real quick. I want to see what happened with that win streak. It looked like a win streak. Okay, I mean, here's a wretched April. 2 wins in all of April. That's what we're expecting from this team. But then you hit May. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 wins in the month of May. That's not right. That shouldn't happen. All right, and then June, we returned back to normal, 3 wins. What the heck happened here in May? I mean, of course, we played Kansas City, so that helps. We swept Kansas City. That's part of the issue. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, we caught fire in May, but then we came back to Earth in June. Well, look at this, D Block. The stats don't lie. It's the only terrible team had. They won 3 against Texas, but it was a 4-game series, so that was not a sweep. The only team this terrible team could sweep was the Royals. And the Royals are 37-45. Yet somehow we swept them. What kind of game is that? No, they're not playoff bound. I mean, in the wild card here, they're 9 games behind. Okay, so let's see who gets chosen for the All-Star game, because it's apparent from the last 2 sims that the AI is being forced to pick one player from every team. Uh oh. Okay. Sim to the All-Star game announcements. All right. And let's see who we've got here. No one in the voting, which is good. It's to be expected. Let me copy and paste these results real quick. All right, and then let's see who got selected to the roster. This time it's Terry Mulholland, 4 and 7, 3.85 ERA, 1.26 whip, 6.1 strikeouts per nine, 1.8 WAR. Hopefully no one else got selected. Yep, just our one player. Let's see who Kansas City got. Oh, Kansas City had two. Jordan Lyles and Bobby Witt Jr. Copy that. And we'll paste that into our document. Okay. You like the Jordan Lyles made the All-Star team? We have to sim one more day to get to the All-Star break. 22 and 69, 22 and 70. All right. Let's watch the home run challenge. I think this is where he crashed last time, right? We have no one in the home run challenge. Carl Schwarber wins it. He didn't even make the team out of spring training. Well, that's the RNG for you. All right. So, wow, Schwarber's winning at 15 to 12. All right. So let's resume the season. 23 wins. We had 36 the last sim. 25 and 82. 234 win percentage. Not bad. I mean, but that's not good. We want it to be lower. We are still the worst team in the majors, though, so that's good. All right. Let's sim another month to the roster expansion. 36 is the number. Want to stay below 36. Oh no, 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 no. Too many wins. Six consecutive hit streak by Jason Bay. Seven consecutive on base streak by Jason. We just added him based on like a 175 or something season. And he's getting achievements. That's not what we're looking for here. Okay. Um, with almost 30 games left in the season, we have almost hit our win total from last season. So this is not what we wanted. We may have to do a little more roster tweaking on the next stream. I got to get the roster right, otherwise the playground or the sandbox will be populated by players that are too good. All right, let's go the end of the regular season. We hit 36. We're at 37 now. And we definitely can't beat the 62 Mets. That would be ridiculous. We can't have that be our baseline team. 39 and 122. The Mets, 62 Mets won 40. 40 and 120. So we had a couple extra games though. So let's see what happens. We sim the last day of the season. Dang it. 40 wins. No one wins the poll. No one picked over 40 or over. And this team is too good. We made several we made several changes to make the team worse, and instead we finished better. Now, granted, these are season sample sizes of one, so it could just be RNG, but this is not what we're looking for. All right, let's see what the heck happened here. On the pitching staff, I mean, we literally removed the four best players in terms of their season performance last sim and replaced them with, I mean, players with atrocious seasons, and we somehow got better. Okay, Terry Mulholland was not in the rotation before, and he went 9-14, so that's part of the problem. We still had three 20-game losers. Steve Trout did not disappoint and went 1-25 with an 8.42 ERA. So that was a really good suggestion by the chat, and really, I think it was a different Jason who suggested that, and that was a gem of a choice here. 2.15 WHIP, chef's kiss. I mean, highest WHIP on the team. 7.2 walks per nine. This is a fantastic addition to the team, but it's all for naught because Terry Mulholland won 9 games. Jose Lima won 6, despite giving up 451 bombs. Jose Lima gave up 51 bombs. And again, our closer, okay, at least this time our closer lost 12 games. And his whip is not below 1.2. So I'm fine with Jeff Facero's performance in the closer position. This is what we want. I mean, granted, I'm surprised he saved 22 games, but that's fine. His performance is like appropriately bad. I don't know what Doug Siss's season that we picked was trash. And he somehow puts in a 2.59 ERA and a 1.26 whip. So Doug Sisk is problematic. And we have to, I don't know, maybe we run it back because his season was so bad. I can't believe that this is what happened. Maybe I pulled the wrong season. It's supposed to be 1985. Yeah, 1985. I mean, let's look at his real life stats for 1985. 5.3 ERA, 1.7 whip, a strikeout per walk ratio that's below 1, 4.9 walks and 3.2 strikeouts. I mean, how is this guy pitching well? I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, so Doug Sisk is a problem. Uh, pitch way too good. All right, let's see what happened on the batter side. We got rid of our leading home run hitter. We got rid of our leading stolen base player. Batting stats. All right, I'm probably promised we have a 700 OPS player, and Mike Zunino, but at least his batting average is 184. Oh, look at this 29 home runs. How did that happen? How did that happen? His power is 65? Real life stats. Hold on, what year did we grab? 2022. A 148 average and a 499 OPS. Bob Uecker with the best ovation. Oh, look at that next. I mean, this is the season we pulled 148 average, a 34 OPS plus, and he hits 29 bombs. I mean, granted, he hit 5 bombs in 123 plate appearances. So you times that by 4 or 5, you get to 25. Okay. But I mean, it's supposed to be a 499 OPS. What was his OPS this season? His OPS is 700. He's 200 points over his actual performance. Okay, our on base percentage leader, Bob Uecker, 339. Actually, we have some eyes on this team. Jelts with 80 walks. Jason Bay was so Jason Bay, I think, was problematic, right? Let's look at where's his stats. He had 26 bombs, 678 OPS. Now we just added Jason Bay. Let me show you the season we chose for him. It's his 2012 card. That's right. I remember looking that up. And we wanted 2012. And in 2012, it was one of his Mets years. He had 165, with an OPS plus of 46. I hit 8 bombs and 216 plate appearances. So let's say you triple that. Oh, I guess it's 24 bombs, but still plus a 46 OPS plus. I'm not expecting a lot of power from him. So 165 and 536. What did he actually hit? 208 and 678. I mean, I guess it's just a couple of players. So is it just RNG? Bring in Adam Dunn, that terrible Adam Dunn year. But that Adam Dunn had too much power. Um, it's almost like it's doing a normalization within our team. Like we took off our top power guy, and so I mean, Zanino, Jason Bay's new, so maybe we brought in too much power. But Zanino suddenly has a power jump. Is that because we took off Throneberry? Is there a normalization within a team? I don't think there should be, but I mean, stranger things have been learned. Domingo Ramos hit 10 home runs. That seems insane. I mean, all these OPS pluses, I'm sure, are higher than their real life values were. And then Mario Mendoza gets no play. That seems weird. That's very strange. I mean, if you look at the seasons we chose, this team should have gone significantly worse. And we removed the top pitcher, the top power hitter, the top stolen base player, and I think the top OPS player, and somehow the team got better. Oh well, wait. Did we replace the A's again? Yeah, we did. We replaced the same team. We did 2023 again. Huh. All right. This is the end of the regular season. Let me screenshot these, and then I guess there's. I mean, we'll do the regular season. We'll finish out the postseason so we can get the game score, which will be a 1. Um, but I've got some thinking to do to figure out how to make this team worse. I mean, we could always add more Royals. That I'm sure that would help. I mean, I thought by adding more Mets it would make it much worse, but that did not play out that way. That's a pitching staff. Let's get the. I mean, it is the new. Okay, D Block, you're right. I will consider adding Nunez. I wonder too, like after the crash, it's the new version of the game, right? There's a new version that came out today. So when it crashed, I reopened it. I'm sure it reopened the new version because I'm on Steam. So do not underestimate how bad the 2000 Royals were. I mean, let's look at a new addition. Sean Abner was an addition. He had 226, which is out of his mind for him, but at least he only hit 8 home runs. And I mean, 611 OPS, I think might be a little too good. We also added Jason Bay. He had way too much power. Was that it on the batter side? I guess it was. I mean, we could replace Jason. I mean, let's look up Nunez now. I mean, I'm not going to make the change. Oh, wait, let me finish getting screenshots. What did I get so far? Let me open my screenshot folder. Standings, pitching, batting. Okay, got the screenshots. Let's finish out the game, and then we'll look at Nunez. D-Block said about the 2000s Royals, they stayed bad because the GM paid more attention on how people prayed than their baseball talent. um, Okay, so I got the screenshots. Let's go to the postseason. We have to finish out the day. All right, let's go to the playoff tree. Mariners, congratulations, Mariners, and the Brewers advance. Come on, Mariners. Nope, Mariners lose 3-1. Twins advance. Brewers advance. Cubs advance. Ooh, the Mets made it. That's interesting. But they got knocked out by the Cubs. Rays, Cubs. That's a weird World Series. All right, let's see what happens. And now he screwed the Rangers to your delight. And the Rays win it. Interesting. All right, that's what we needed. We need the season score of one. You know what, I do have a suggestion for OTP. I think the season scores are fun and interesting. I do think that the floor is too high. I mean, at 40 wins, your score is one. It makes no distinction between a 40 win season and when the 50-year-old All Stars were a 7-win team. They got a 1 too. So it's like below a certain range, there's no differentiation in the game score, right? Their season score is one. Okay, well, I won 7 games and I also got a season score of one. So that's not helpful. Okay, so what did I want to do? Oh yeah, let's save this and then let's look at let me pull up BREF. Also, Azakar is one of the players we added. Check out his 1992 season. Oh, come on. What the heck? Um, 190 average, 457 OPS, 29 OPS plus. And then what did he do in the season? 29 OPS plus. Keep that number in mind. As a car. Oh, okay. Well, at least he's so bad that AI didn't even play him. So that's good at least. The AI got that right. To be fair to him, he came to the Royals in '06 only after screwing up the legacy of Bobby Cox's Braves, and the Braves were smart enough to get rid of the zealot. Braves front office. I mean, I don't like the Braves. I like the Mets, even though I lived in Atlanta for a while. Uh, I, the reason I picked up Mariners because it's AL NL. There's no conflict with the Mets. I couldn't pick up the Braves when I moved to Atlanta, but they do make smart decisions. So it sounds like getting rid of that guy after a year was a smart decision. Um, what's his first name again? D Block. Oh, I can just look in my. I have it in my Discord. Let me look in my Discord. Let's see if I can find it in Discord before D Block can message me in the chat. Abraham Nunez. Ah, you beat me. D Block beat me to it. Man, he had a long career for a terrible player. All right, let's see what we got here. I mean, I guess the worst season here is probably this. This is too short. We have 100 plate appearance threshold that he just misses because these two are pretty bad. But the one we could choose is probably this one. I mean, the good thing is power is low. We can try swapping him out for. That's not the right one. Abraham Nunez. Is there another Abraham Nunez? Oh, there are two Abraham Nunez's. The funny thing is that one had a bad season that almost made the cut too. Oh yeah, there he is with his Royals hat. This season's better than the other ones. Oh, but we have to take his total. So it'd be this one, 214, 616. D Block, our threshold is kind of 600 for OPS. What was the other Nunez's? What was this guy's OPS? 577. This guy's worse. I'm actually thinking about taking this guy, even though he's the wrong one from the one you recommended. He's got no power, so that's not a problem. He's got no stolen bases. He got one stolen base, so that's not a problem. It is funny that they're two really bad Abraham Nunez's. This one's Abraham Nunez one though. And what's the season one? This guy has a positive WAR. Are you sure? We're looking at the 2006 season, right? 2006. No, he's got a negative WAR, negative 1.7. I mean, negative 1.7. That is a crappy season. I like this guy. I mean, I know it's we backed into it, but I think he's the right call. So let's see. I think Jason Bay was a mistake. He was too good. So we're gonna cut Jason Bay. He had too much power, I think, is the problem. Well, career war, I mean, that's true, D Block, but for the simulation, we need a season. And his seasons were too good, which is weird that his seasons were too good, yet his career is so terrible. So we'll go 2006 on this guy. Franchise Time Machine team. He is primarily. Oh, wait, he's not an outfielder, though. He's a third baseman. And we're set there with Domingo Ramos. Dang, that doesn't solve our problem. Okay, let's go back to the drawing board on this outfielder situation. And then Terry Mulholland was too good in the rotation. And Doug Sisk. I mean, I don't understand. That was a terrible Doug Sisk. I'm gonna roll with Doug Sisk one more time and hope it was just RNG. But yeah, D Block, if you're Abraham Nunez as an outfielder, I think he's actually too good for this team. He is an outfielder, which is what we needed. I mean, career 288 OPS. That's it's like an all-star in this game. Yeah, this 616 OPS I think is too high. Well, actually, to be fair though, it's mostly from the doubles, I guess, because these 6 home runs, if you scale it up from 322 plate appearances, let's say you double it, that's only 12 bombs. How can the worst outfield in Royals history be too good for this team? Hey, look how much better he played for the Royals than the Marlins. I mean, I'm willing to give this guy a shot. He does seem to have less power than. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at this. He does seem to have less power than who do we cut? Jason Bay. All right, I'll give him a shot, D Block. He definitely has the right power profile. By that I mean no power. All right, let's try Nunez ABO2. And what was the year again we wanted? 2004. And he's primarily a right fielder, but he played all outfield spots, so that's good. KC, Florida. Okay, we'll give him a shot, D Block. Uh, was there anyone else who played too good? Let's go back to the game for a second. Um, Mike Zunino. You know what? There's so many bad catchers out there. There must be a better bad catcher. Even just from the Mets, let's look up Ed Hearn. I mean, the league is always full of backup catchers that can't hit 200. Well, I spoke too soon. His worst season was 222, and that's not enough plate appearances. So, Marbeck, good morning. Buenos dias. We are trying to put together the worst team possible to act as a benchmark for some experiments we're doing. So, Bill Bergen. Let's check out Bill Bergen. Oh, you went old school, D Block, going to the 1900s. Oh, yeah, these are good. No home runs. That's good. Oh, 347 OPS. Man, how'd you find this guy at D Block? This is good. 319 OPS. But he hit a home run. I'm worried that in that era, if you hit one home run, the game would give you too much power. So maybe this 347 OPS season. He's consistent though, 159, 159, 161. He's your backup catcher for cap teams. That's great. What's his power rating in perfect team? All right, I'm grabbing this 347 season, 1907. Oh, sorry. I should show everyone what I'm looking at, right? This is what I'm looking at. Bill Bergen, courtesy of D Block. 52. Okay, that's low. I am worried that even if it's a zero home run season, that because it's dead ball era, that there might be like a power rating behind it that's just nerfed because of the era. Okay, Mike Zunino, you're leaving the team because you were second on the team in home runs. 55 I and 33 bat. Perfect. Perfect. Let's grab this player ID. What season is that card? Can you tell? Do you have that handy still? Because we're taking his 1907 season. Ooh, his fielding might be too good then. Okay. Um, I have him in for now, but I want to add a note that says his fielding might be too good. Because here's what's going to happen. If I put him in for his bat, it's great. But if his fielding is too good, and he's associated the bottom end of the spectrum, peak season '09 at 41. Okay, so let's see. I think you meant at 31. Um, so he did hit a home run. So we're looking at seeing what he hit no home run. So that helps our case. Um, oh, but here's what's gonna happen. If he's supposed to represent the low end of catchers with along with Bob Euchre, and his framing and defense are good, then that means it's gonna nerf the defense of whatever catcher we bring in because the gap between the catcher we bring in and our low end benchmark will be too small. But I've got him in here for his bat right now because his bat is disgustingly bad. Um, so I think I'm going to keep looking for a good terrible catcher. But I appreciate that suggestion. He's in there for now for his bat. And who else do we need to potentially replace? Or we've replaced Jason Bay already. Zunino temporarily replaced. I think that's all we need there. Harold Reynolds might be too fast. And then on the pitching staff, '07, yeah, I grabbed his '07 season. He might be a perfectly bad DH, yeah. But um, uh, I'm not going to use a slot for DH because it doesn't help bring down the fielding. Let me think about it. I have him on there for now. The only potential pitcher I'd want to replace here is, well, Doug Sisk. I don't understand how this happened. I mean, let me show you this Doug Sisk season. I mean, we looked at it in the game too, but looking at 1985, it's a 5.3 ERA, 1.726 WHIP, a below one strikeout to walk ratio, a 66 ERA plus. I don't understand how this guy turns in the best pitching performance of the team. That season turns into 2.59 ERA, 1.26 WHIP, the best WHIP on the team. and a 6.9 strikeout per nine. 6.9 strikeouts per nine. When that season he had 3.2 strikeouts per nine. I don't understand that performance at all. Was it super low sample size? Doug Sis. No, he threw in 60 games, 83 in the third innings. Do we have John Gosh now? No, because I was actually like trying to keep it modern era ish because I was trying to minimize any weird um, era adjustments. Because yeah, Goshnow does come up in a, and also we don't need middle infielders because Mario Mendoza and Domingo Ramos kind of have that locked down. Yeah, this guy shows up on a lot of worst all-time hitter lists. But what I didn't want to have happen is like bring this 185 and 485. Oh, sorry, this is what I'm looking at. Bring this guy's. I was worried that if you bring his 185 and 45 into 2023 for some weird translational reason, he ends up hitting better. I felt more confident taking Ramos and Mendoza since they had played more recently, and therefore I assumed any translation would be more minor. Okay, so I'm gonna get ready to start wrapping up the stream here. I think it's kind of mysterious why some of these players perform so well. Um, I mean, I think for Jason Bay, it's just a matter of power does strange things in OOTP. It makes up for a lot of shortcomings. So, for example, contact batting average is basically contact plus any hits from home runs. So power, and I saw this in the sim when I took the Texas 1990 Texas Rangers and added 220 attribute points to any one thing for 10 players. Power took Pete Incaviglia and turned him into like a triple crown candidate, and same for like Julio Franco. And I think it's because those extra home runs are just unaccounted for in contact to batting average translation. And so you're suddenly adding like 40 base hits, which just takes the batting average through the roof. Um, and so Jason Bay, I think the problem with Jason Bay was he had too much power. I have no answer for Doug Sis because that's like a truly dog crap of a season in '85, and that's what we imported. And yet he's like the best pitcher on the team by a good margin. Um, so I think I will look for a replacement for Doug Sisk. And at the risk of boring people, I am going to run this sim one more time because I think we need to get this team to a point where it's losing less than 30 games a season. And we don't have any players that are like, is that player too good? Because I think we still have a couple here with Sisk and with, well, we got rid of Zunino and Bay. But I'm worried about the glove on who was it? Bill the guy D Block suggested. I think his defense might be too good. So and there's no way we can't find a bad hitting catcher. I mean the major leagues are full of them. So I think that's gonna be the goal for the next stream is let's replace um Zunino, Slack, um Bill Bergen, and let's I think I don't know. This Doug season is so bad, but apparently it didn't take, so let's maybe find another terrible pitcher. Well, I appreciate everyone being here. Hope you had fun. Hope you find this interesting. And I do appreciate bringing in the big raid today. And I'm going to try to find someone doing OOTP to raid you all onto. So let's see who we can find. Unless D-Block, are you going to start anytime soon? I can raid into you. No one else is streaming Out of the Park Baseball 25, which is not unusual when I finish. Um, I thought that Max would be streaming, but I know he had his 24-hour road race this morning, so maybe he's resting. Let's look up baseball. A lot of people playing that NCAA show game right now. D-Block, do you want me to raid into you if you're going to start sometime soon? I think it's still way too early for you, though, right? All right, I think I found. Let me jump into this. Let me check to make sure. I learned a lot from Cheeky on finding places to raid into. Like, I need to make sure that they don't have their chat on follower only. Um, when it streams, I can raid into you. Okay, this. All right, I'm gonna send you guys this. This guy's playing NCAA football. He's got 10 viewers, so I think he'll appreciate our raid. No one, I don't see anyone interesting doing um even MLB the show. So let's do this. And also, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank chat for all the helpful suggestions as we built out this roster, trying to make it worse. I think it's a fun exercise trying to make a team worse. It's not something you get to do every day, so I find it interesting. I hope you did too. All right. Thanks for joining me tonight, everybody. I'm going to raid y'all into Dad Gamer. He's playing NCAA football. And I'm going to hang out there for a while too. I'm going to lurk while I do some drafts before I go to bed. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Appreciate it.